The 48 Laws of Power shows how influence actually controls human behavior. And these are 7 laws ranked from the least dangerous to the most powerful forms of manipulation. 1. Law number 4. Always say less than necessary. Silence is something most people misunderstand. They think power comes from talking more, explaining more, proving more. But in reality, the opposite often happens. The more you speak, the more you expose. Every extra sentence gives away emotion, gives away intention, gives away position. And people are always listening for patterns, not just words. But when you say less, something interesting happens. People begin to fill the silence for you. They interpret your pauses, they assign meaning to your quietness. They project their own thoughts onto you. And without realizing it, you stop being predictable. You become harder to read, and in human behavior, anything hard to read feels like control. Because silence does not reveal weakness, it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people pay attention. 2. Law number 1, never outshine the master. In most systems, there is always someone above you. A boss, a teacher, a leader, a figure who holds position and ego together. And this law suggests something uncomfortable. Skill alone is not always rewarded. Sometimes being too good creates tension instead of praise. Because when someone above you feels replaced or unnecessary, they do not always react logically, they react emotionally. And that emotion can change everything. So even when you are capable of more, even when you can outperform, even when you can prove superiority, there is a hidden risk. Because people in authority often protect status first and truth second. So this law is not about hiding intelligence. It is about understanding human insecurity, knowing when visibility becomes danger and when silence becomes survival. Because in real life, hierarchy is not just structure. 3. Law number 6. Court attention at all costs. Attention is one of the strongest forces in human behavior. If people are not paying attention to you, you practically do not exist in their world. And this law states something very direct: visibility equals power. But attention is not always logical. People do not always remember what is valuable. They remember what is intense. Shock emotion, controversy, mystery. These are what stick in the mind. This is why some people rise faster than others. Not because they are better, but because they are seen more. But attention has a strange cost. Because once you start chasing it, you begin to change your behavior for it. You start thinking in reactions instead of intention. You start shaping yourself for visibility instead of truth. And slowly, attention stops being a tool and becomes a need. 4. Law number 3. Conceal your intentions. Most people believe clarity builds trust, but full clarity also builds predictability. And predictable people are easy to influence. This law suggests something more strategic. Do not reveal everything at once. Instead, reveal outcomes, not intentions. Let people see what you do, not fully understand why you do it. Because when your full plan is visible, others can react early, prepare against it, or interfere before it finishes. But when your intention is hidden, your movement becomes harder to map. And anything that cannot be mapped cannot be easily controlled. However, there is a cost, because the more hidden you are, the more uncertain people feel around you, and uncertainty slowly changes trust into caution. 5. Law number 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Honesty is powerful, but timing is even more powerful. A single truth at the right moment can erase suspicion completely, and a small act of kindness can reset how someone sees you. This law is not about constant deception. It is about strategic moments of sincerity. Because humans are pattern-driven. When they see honesty, once they assume honesty always. When they see kindness, once they lower their guard. And when the guard drops, critical thinking drops with it. So influence does not always come from force. Sometimes it comes from trust that was earned too quickly. 6. Law number 15. Crush your enemy. Conflict in real life rarely disappears on its own. If someone is only partially defeated, they remain part of the system. They observe, they wait, they adapt, and sometimes they return stronger. This law is about eliminating unfinished outcomes because half victories often become future problems. When conflict is unavoidable, it suggests removing every path of recovery, not emotionally, but structurally. Because unresolved opposition does not fade, it transforms and returns in another form. 7. Law number 14. Pose as a friend. Work as a spy. Trust is the fastest way into someone's real world. People do not reveal everything to strangers. They reveal it to those they feel safe with their fears, their weaknesses, their ambitions, their insecurities, and once that information is spoken, it cannot be taken back. This law focuses on information as power, because once you understand someone fully, their reactions become predictable. But there is something darker underneath this idea. When trust becomes a method of access, relationships lose their emotional meaning and become systems of information exchange. And once that shift happens, privacy stops feeling guaranteed, even in familiar spaces.